Hi, this is Nana Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, May 31st, 2018. Looking at the fire potential impacts over the next few days, the day with really the most things happening as far as the weather is today. You can see a lot of colors on the map for today. The main concern is across the orange highlighted area, and that is where we are expecting gusty winds, low relative humidity, and where dry fuels are in place. Now, for sure, these are not the only areas where we will see those gusty winds with low relative humidity, but we're really highlighting this orange area for today because that's where we also have dry fuels. And so with the combination of those three factors, that's kind of the main concern for today. We will also see showers and wet thunderstorms across the green highlighted area, so portions of Nevada, far western Utah, and into Idaho. Most of these storms will be accompanied by rain, and we are expecting quite a bit of lightning with these storms, especially across Idaho. As we move into Friday and Saturday, the cold front that's bringing us all of the exciting weather today will have moved out of the area, and we're not expecting any real significant impacts across the area for Friday and Saturday. Over the past 24 hours, quite a few areas across the Great Basin did see precipitation. The heaviest precipitation was across the northern part of the Great Basin, although we did see some storms across the southeast. You can see from the lightning map on the right, quite a bit of lightning across portions of Idaho, northwestern Utah, and Nevada. But what is pretty significant on this map is the lightning across far southeastern Utah. And this is concerning because that lightning occurred in the areas where we are today expecting the gusty winds with low relative humidity. So definitely something to keep an eye on in those areas that did see lightning yesterday. Checking out our precipitation over the past 7 and 30 days, you can see pretty quickly how dry it has been across the southeast over the past 7 days. Pretty well below normal with no precipitation in some areas across the southern and southeastern part of the Great Basin. Looking back 30 days, it looks a little better across the southeast, but still many areas in the Great Basin below normal as far as precipitation over the past 30 days. With that dry signature across the southeastern part of the Great Basin, it should be no surprise that our ERCs are the highest across the southeastern part of the area. Now, ERCs have come down in these areas a little bit from yesterday, but they are still in some places above the 70th and even 80th percentile. So, ERC is definitely the highest where we've seen the least amount of precipitation, and also in the areas where today we are expecting those gusty winds with low relative humidity. The satellite today shows that low pressure system making its way into the Great Basin, and that is the weather system that will bring us the interesting weather today. So looking at the general weather pattern for today, you can see that low pressure system making its way into Nevada with moisture across the northwest and higher winds and lower relative humidities across the southeast. We do have a high risk issued for portions of Utah and the Arizona Strip for today. Unfortunately, our 7-day product is currently down, and so were it functioning, we would have also added a high risk for portions of eastern Utah that now are reporting critical fuels. So again, those areas I've been talking about so far in the briefing, we are issuing a high risk for as far as the wind and dry conditions. So looking in a little more detail, you can see from the image on the left the really low humidities expected across southeastern Utah, other portions of the Great Basin, and really gusty winds today across the Great Basin, as you can see from the image on the right. Moving into Friday, that weather system makes its way out of the area. We'll start to see temperatures warm across the area a bit, and winds will be lighter. Looking in a little more detail at the weather for Friday, you can see from the image on the left that it stays quite dry across the south, but looking at the wind gust forecast on the right, you can see those wind gusts are much lower tomorrow than what are expected this afternoon. As we move into Saturday, that warming and drying trend continues across the area. You can see pretty light winds on Saturday, low relative humidities continuing, especially across the south. Over the next 3 days, precipitation will be focused across the northern part of the Great Basin. Not much precipitation is expected across the south over the next 3 days. As we move into Sunday, we start to see another low pressure system make its way into the western United States. You can see some pretty dry air in place across the south. That continues to make its way south and east into Monday, and at this time it looks like we could start to see some pretty gusty winds again across the southern parts of the Great Basin beginning Monday. Pretty similar looking moving into Tuesday. If this is what comes to fruition, we would see those gusty winds continue across portions of the south on Tuesday. And it looks like that would also continue into Wednesday. And our significant fire potential forecast is not available for Wednesday, as that 7-day forecast product is currently down. Over the next 7 days, not much precipitation expected across the southern part of the Great Basin. Again, most of it will be across the north in the next 3 days. In the 8 to 14-day period, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for above normal temperatures across pretty much the entire western two-thirds of the United States. As far as precipitation, we are looking at above normal forecasts for the southeastern part of the Great Basin and below normal across the north. So if this does end up happening as far as precipitation, it would be quite a flip from what we have seen over the past few months. So that's it. If you have any questions, please contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.